Hi folks, this is Rose from In Rose's Garden, and today we are going to work on a pair of earrings using our Jesse James Beads Magical Mystery Bead Box January book club. And the beads we're going to use are from the Murder on the Orient Express bead mix. So let's turn down and we'll work on these. Now what we have here are two pieces of 5-inch 20 gauge wire. I'm trying to get them a little straighter here. And what I'm going to do is, these are my beads I'm going to use. We're going to put this little dangle at the very bottom. Then we're going to have these black ones are going to go into these. We're going to have the red one at the bottom. There's going to be another one up here above this with the, you know what, I don't think I want to use these up here. I think I'm going to get a round ball spacer to put up there. So I'll be right back after I do that. So I've got to this ball spacer, and what we're going to do, as I was saying, is we're going to put the ball spacer up here on top. And then we have our porcelain bead, one of our, and then the pearl. This is the way I had planned it, but I'm changing my mind. I'm going to put the pearl here, so it matches our necklace we made a little better. Then I'm going to put this here. Here we go with this one. And we'll have another flat spacer on the top. And I'm wondering if I want to even put these little red beads in, because even though I really love these little red beads, they are really cute. I'm thinking that it goes better just this way, without that red space bead in here. So we'll put these back into the bin, and we may use them for something else later. So then of course this will go up here. So these pieces can go in a dish for later. This is the, and we will put these back into our Murder on the Orient Express bead bin. See, if I hadn't used 3 on my necklace, I could have used that one and made a simple little pair of earrings, but we'll see what we're going to do with them later. So I think I may be a little bit more of a brat and get a couple of other ball spacers out, the little ones to go on top and bottom. Don't you just love it when you get to you change your mind in the middle of doing something? That's all right. We can do that. It's called prerogative. So one of these will go to the other earring, and then one will go to this one. First thing we want to do is make the loop at the bottom for our dangle. So I've bent that at 90 degrees, up about 1 inch. I'm going to use this small. Go round and around, drop it, bring her over, leaving a small gap, and then lollipopping it. So, and I don't have that quite as far over as I would like, so we're going to put this back in, and we're going to tip it just a bit more. There we go. So then we put our charm in here. Hold on to the wires where the bend comes together. And then we're going to wrap it. There we go. Pull this around to the back here and trim this little bit off. and then we'll tuck that in. Now I've got that, see it's twisting a little bit to one side, so we'll put it back in here and bring her up so that she's straight up and down. And that isn't tucked very well, so we got to get that tucked a little better. And I bit my wire again, so we want to straighten that back up again. Okay, now that we've got that on, let's feed our beads. So we're going to go with the little ball spacer, then this bead cap, the black heart. Well, one of the reasons I always put the heart in the bead cap is because sometimes this point chips. If it's down there in the bead cap, it's safe. And if it has already chipped, you can't see it. There we go. Now let's see if we're going to have the same problem with these as we did. Nope, that one went right on. That's perfect. Red porcelain, washer spacer, little ball spacer. And there we go. So this is tipped a little bit still. There we go. That's better. So now what we need to do is put our ear wire on. To do that, when we want to make sure that we are facing the opposite direction of our dangle piece down here, because we want to hang this direction. So we want to twist it sideways so we're looking straight at that loop. Get hold of it and bend it towards you. Then you want to take your bell making pliers again, go in that loop, over and around, drop her down, bring her around, leaving a gap, and then lollipop it somewhat. Now, since this has a definite front and back to this earring, since this little flower obviously needs to go facing this direction, you want to feed your ear wire in backwards. See, it's facing backwards, because as it snaps in place, it's going to come forward. So now that we've got that in place, we want to hold our wires right here, and then we're going to wrap this top wire up. I think that's all we're going to get out of it, so we will cut that extra wire off. Come here, you. Get out of the way. And then tuck our extra little bit of wire down in. Now, we hold it and make sure we got her straight. And she's looking pretty good, though our wire is a little crooked up here at the top. So we want to straighten that. And there's earring number 1. Now we want to do exactly the same thing to get earring number 2. So we're just going to take our wire, go up on it about 1 inch, bend her 90 degrees, get our bell making plier, go in, go around, down, drop it, bring it over, leaving a gap. Then we'll lollipop it by rolling it just a hair's breadth to the side. Now we get our charm, feed her on, and I didn't leave enough gap. See, it doesn't want to go on there. There we go. So then we hold it where they come together, pushing that one back down into place. Take our other plier and we're going to wrap it. So 1, 2, and we're going to have to do the push on this one, it looks like. That's all right, we can get her. I obviously didn't cut it quite as long as the other one, though I do need to trim just a hair's breadth off here. And tuck it in. Now check to see if we got her straight. She's bowing over that way, see? So bring her up this way. There we go. Now we're just going to feed our beads on just like we did this one. Starting with our little tiny ball spacer. Bead cap. Black heart. Now see what I said about how these sometimes get chipped? See, this one's got a teeny chip at the bottom of the heart. No big deal. It's going to drop into the bead cap. The filigree ball spacer. Come on, where's your other end there? There we go. Our pearl. It would seem this pearl's going to give us problems too, so we're going to have to get out our bead reamer and ream it out a little bit. From the dust coming up off on my hand, I'm thinking this actually might be shell. I just figured it was glass with a coating, but this dust doesn't look like glass with a coating. Let's see if we got it cleared enough. There we go. There we go. Now we'll put on our washer, our porcelain, our washer, and our little so now remember we have to watch for front and back. So if we face that to the mat, oh boy, we got a woey in there, that wire, because I can really see it bent there when I faced it downwards. There we go, that's much better. So we want to face it so that the ring is going horizontally to the mat, and then we want to grab it up here and give it a 90-degree bend. Put our bell making pliers in there, go up, around, down. When we bring it over, we want to give it that little bit of space. I don't think I gave it much space here, so we'll gap it just a bit more. Then we want to feed our ear wire on backwards to our flower. So backwards, up and around. And now she's in and she's facing forward. So now we grab our wires together here, flip it over, and then we want to wrap this loop up here. So just wrap our loop. Should have like 3 or 4 wraps here. Oop, come here, you. Boy, she's being difficult for me here. Okay. We want her to come around a little more to the back if possible. So we'll just cut it right here. And then we'll tuck it in so it goes to the back here. Well, I guess I'm going to have to hold it to tuck it. So there we go. Earring number 2. Oh, but look at what I did to the top. We need to straighten that up. So just put your thumbnail against it and pull it. And then that curled there, so there we go. Got to straighten that up. And roll our beads around so they face the forward. And there we go. Our earring is done. Though, as you can see, this one is straight this direction, but this one's a little curled. See that? We want to take your finger and grab hold of both loops and bend this a little bit so that they're now right again, opposite each other, opposite the way they're going. So there's earring number 2. So there is our Murder on the Orient Express earrings. Those pretty? So there are our Murder on the Orient Express earrings. Those pretty? Of course, not quite how I designed them, since I decided in midstream to change some of my beads out, but that's all right. I like the way they turned out. I like the way they turned out. So there they are. Murder on the Orient Express. Oops, that pearl turned sideways on us. There we go. And these were made using the bead mix Murder on the Orient Express from our Magical Mystery Bead Box from Jesse James Beads, January edition book club. This has been Rose from In Rose's Garden, and I hope you enjoyed making those earrings with me. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.